Hello everyone, and today I and my partner would like you to present a very interesting topic, listening. But before to start, we want to say that it is a honor to present this topic to you guys, our dear audience. So let's start with the question to you guys. Have you ever felt that something is wrong with you while you're communicating with someone and reach a moment in which the listener loses attention to you? Maybe you interact with a type of person who usually only wait his or her turn and ignoring your opinion. Have you ever thought how serious the problem is? And why is a big deal for any manager? The answer underlies in the definition of manager. So who is a manager, guys? Manager is a person who is coordinated to oversee the work of employees. But the majority of people forget about one important thing, and this thing is communication. And the important aspect of communication is listening. So today we're going to share with you approaches which allow to keep attention of your listener. So, and we would like to start with a voice. And what quality should it have? Before we turn to them, let's look at common mistakes. Well, the first common mistakes, the speech rate is too slow. It's a problem, guys. And the main problem of the low speed, the low speed rate, is that the listener cannot identify where important part and where the secondary part. And in order to correct it, you have to not have, I would say, the same rate of your speech. You have to play with your speech, and so we are going to talk with it later. The second problem, the second mistake, is a monotony. Well, I think that everyone at once have met a person whose speech very monotony, and the main problem that I would like to tell that monotony is like playing the same note in the piano. So the same thing with monotony. So it means that you are going to annoy your listener, and probably the listener will lose attention to you. So guys, try to not cancel, just rid of monotony. And the last one is haste. So haste is similar to the first mistake, but the sense of it vice versa. It is a person whose speech rate is too fast. Well, and in this situation, the listener will feel the problem, which regarding to our capacity of process information. Sometimes we can be overloaded, and due to that reason, the person will lose attention immediately. Just believe me. And now, voice. What quality should it have? Well, we're going to start with the pace of the temper. And what is a temper? Temper is the rate of utterance of sounds, syllables, and words per unit of time. And also I want to point out that a good speaker can vary the pace of the temper. As an example, if you want to emphasize, let's say, some main words of your sentence, you can slow down your speech. If you want to skip something unimportant, you can increase your pace of temper. The second, the power of voice. It is impossible to speak neither too softly nor too loudly. You have to find the middle, and in order to do this, you have to practice. Yes, and I advise you to record your, I would say, performance and find the gold medal of power over your voice. The third one is the pitch of the voice. Well, the pitch of the voice depends on natural psychological parameters. It is apparent that women have low pitch of the voice, men have high pitch of the voice, but you have to, I would say, play with the pitch of the voice, with the low, medium, and high voice, in order to, um, as well as emphasize your thoughts or pay attention to you. Yes. And the last one is intonation. So could you imagine a person without intonation? I mean, a bad speaker. Yes. And intonation is crucial, I think, because it helps to emphasize, I would say, main words of sentence that also encourage the audience to action. And as an example, the person who is a patient to some topic, some idea will sound more clearly, more scenery, and will attract more attention and will attract, I would say, mild thinking individuals, I would say, in this case. So it is all about my part, and I would like to give a word to my partner Anton.
Sasha. There are also some useful tips and tricks that you should definitely consider using. The first one is to prepare a listener for both information you're about to give. You can do it by two means. The first one is to ask some personal questions. You should probably consider asking them things about their personal life or their hobby, but you should only do it if you previously discussed them. If you succeed in it, then a person will feel more comfortable and closer to you, then he'll be more likely to listen to the rest of the information. The second variant is to tell them a story that somehow relates to the topic. By this means, you will not only make a person more attentive to you, but you also make his life easier by making the information you're about to give more likely to be memorized by him. Because it is always easier to remember an interesting story than a big amount of raw information. The second tip is to use less personal information while discussing some things. If you want to give a person advice by sharing your experience, you should make sure that this person understands that this information is really valuable for him. Because if he doesn't, then he'll just think that you brag about your personal achievements and he'll just think about his personal matters. The second tip is to make your conversation more interactive. To do it, you should ask another person how he feels about things you're saying or his personal opinion, and then he will be more involved in the conversation and will be more likely to listen to you. This tip is usually used by our lecturers because they usually ask us questions on the matter of the lecture to make sure that we don't get distracted too much. Too much. The second tip is to be more positive. It means that you should make a person believe that you want him only the best. So if you offend a person somehow, then he will just stop listening to you and will just try to end the conversation as soon as possible. It happens when, for example, a manager yells on his subordinates and calls them names, and then he thinks that they will listen to them, but they're actually too stressed out to do it. So they will just forget all the information. The next tip I think is the most important and it means that and it suggests that you should always keep track of your reputation. You should always work on it. You shouldn't spread any gossip. You shouldn't talk always about nothing. You should be considered a person that can give some valuable information that could benefit a person in the future. So now conclusion. So we've given you a lot of useful tips on how to make other person listen to you, and if you will practice, be more confident and use all the tips we've given to you, then another person will be more likely to listen to you, obviously. So thank you for your attention, and do you have any questions?